Hi everyone, I'm David Wojcik and this is MBOT TV. Stories we covered this week: is two-way all-day go a possibility in Mississauga? Mayor Bonnie Crombie sets her sights on large retailers. Never spring forward or fall backward with your clock again, and we get an update on what we might expect a vaccine to come in Canada. This portion of MBOT TV is brought to you by Nurse Next Door. Mayor Bonnie Crombie put a motion forward to Regional Council in order to use a section of the Provincial Health Act to level the playing field for small business.
I and my council members will be putting a motion forward at Regional Council tomorrow that will ask our Medical Officer of Health to limit big box stores from selling non-essentials. We'll be putting this motion forward for the health and safety of our residents, but also to level the playing field for our smaller retailers. I know that many of our small retailers are barely hanging on. They've been asked to close their in-person shopping at the most critical time of year for their bottom line, at a time when they make upwards of 50 to 60% of their annual revenues. And it is simply unfair that big box stores can continue to sell non-essential items to people in their stores.
The mayor withdrew her motion after a heated debate during the council meeting. Council agreed to take a more holistic approach and lobby the provincial government to open all businesses in a responsible way. MBOT hosted a virtual town hall with the Associate Minister of Transportation, Kinga Surma. The LRT is a project that is near and dear to Mississauga. The minister brought good news about the $2 billion project.
The Hurontario LRT is another great example of a transformational project that will make getting around Mississauga and Brampton much easier. Once completed, the 19-stop, 18-kilometer line running in a dedicated lane will give riders a smooth, fast, and convenient alternative to driving. And with connections to two GO lines, the Mississauga Transitway and the Zoom Transitway, it will open up transit options to thousands throughout Peel Region and GTA overall.
Another project that has been on the back burner for years may have some life breathing into it. The minister also talked about two-way all-day go on the Milton line.
We continue to make GO expansion a priority as we invest billions to transform the GO rail into an all-day rapid transit network with two-way all-day service every 15 minutes over core segments.
Stay with us for our new lightning round right after this short message on how to save money on your employee benefits. The Chamber Plan can help.
The Chamber's plan now offers employee benefit programs with greater selection, higher coverage levels, and more value than ever before. Take another look and see why we're the choice of more small businesses than any other plan in Canada. The Chamber's plan. It's for your benefit.
And now it's time for the lightning round with Brad Butt, the Vice President of Government and Stakeholder Relations for the Mississauga Board of Trade. Here we go, Brad.
Let's go.
Brad, the Mayor Crombie tried to use Section 22 to lock down large businesses at the Region of Peel. How did that go for her?
Well, she presented a motion at Regional Council. Council did not support that. What it would have done is place restrictions on what the so-called big box stores could and could not sell. She wanted Dr. Lowe, the Medical Officer of Health, to use Section 22 powers under the Health Protection and Promotion Act. And unfortunately, even though the spirit of what she was trying to do may have been fine, the execution and the unworkability of that ruled the day.
The feds are coming up with a economic update. There's all kinds of rumors about taxation and wanting to tax your house. What are you hearing?
Well, we're certainly going to see the largest deficit in Canadian history, at close to $350 billion, I suspect Minister Freeland to announce. But what I'm hearing is they will announce plans for national pharmacare. They will announce plans for national childcare. There'll be a ton more money for pandemic relief, including targeted sectors like airlines and hospitality. So a ton more spending for sure, big deficits, and likely some other stuff that we'll have to see what happens Monday at 4 o'clock.
Brad, the federal government's taking a lot of heat over getting vaccines for Canada. What are you hearing on that front?
Well, the big argument now is whether or not the deals that the federal government signed would allow for some of these vaccines to actually be manufactured in Canada. Can they get the IP to Canadian-based companies? Groups like Innovative Medicines Canada have said there is the capacity within Canada to produce these vaccines. Or is Canada going to be behind other countries and people around the world that get vaccines before Canadians do? It's become a real political problem for the federal government.
On the subject of changing our clocks, as Kermit the Frog says, I'm not changing my clocks back. I don't need another hour of 2020. What's going on there? How is this going to work with others that are in our time zone?
Well, there was a private member's bill that was passed in the Ontario legislature unanimously last week, which now would get rid of the time change that we see twice a year. The provincial government, though, has said they will not proclaim the bill into law until such time as the province of Quebec and the state of New York also adopt the same to keep us geographically on the same page. But yeah, I think very soon it's going to come that we will no longer have clock changes twice a year.
And on the stormwater credit front, something that we've been very active on, they revamped some of the credit program, but not so much on the amount of money that businesses can get. What's the update?
Well, the 5-year review of the stormwater tax program brought in by the city of Mississauga, one of the very few jurisdictions in the Greater Toronto area that has such a tax on residents, but also on businesses predominantly. So reports going forward to council looking at some improvements and changes. Some of those are very good, things that we've called for a number of years that will be implemented, but the amount of the credit is still too low. It's not a great enough incentive to get businesses on board to do retrofits for stormwater, and we're going to be pushing for that.
The province Minister Sarkaria wants to cap the fees on delivery services for food. How's he doing on that front?
Well, they tabled a bill last week at the provincial legislature that will bring in a cap on those fees that Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes and those folks are charging. They're trying to help out restaurants during a pandemic. So the fees will be capped at 15% net and 20% gross when some other items are marked up. Some organizations were charging as much as 30% plus. So this perhaps in the short term will help some of those restaurants on their takeout and delivery.
And that's it for the lightning round. Brad, thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, David.
And now for our upcoming events listing with Stephanie Giorgio. Stephanie.
Thanks, David. And here's what's coming up at your Mississauga Board of Trade. On December 9th, MBOT hosts its first virtual annual general meeting. As we near the end of the year and term of office for our Board of Directors, our annual general meeting will move forward virtually this year so that we can formally report to you, our members, on the activities and financial performance of the organization over the past year and vote for our 2021 Board of Directors. MBOT Award nominations are still open. Visit mbot.com/awards and nominate another business or nominate yourself. The Business Awards of Excellence event has been postponed to the spring of 2021. Award nominations are open until December 20th. Join us on January 12th for a fireside chat with President and CEO of Roche Canada, Ronnie Miller. On January 13th, Good Morning Mississauga is virtual. Join us and connect with Mississauga businesses. Don't forget to book a speaker spot. Where else can you make 100 cold calls in just 2 minutes? Back to you, David.
Thanks, Stephanie. If you have any questions about how to register for an event, increase awareness for your business, or have your company featured on MBOT TV, contact your membership services manager by calling 905-273-6151, press 0 and get connected. Details about these stories and events are available at www.mbot.com. Until next week, this is David Wojcik wishing you continued success in your business.